The biggest demon in hell. If we could take humans out of the creation of the universe, we would see that the whole creation, the stars, the moon, the plants, the animals, everything is perfect just the way it is. Life does not need to be justified or judged. Without us, it keeps going the way it is. If you put humans in that creation but that take away the ability to judge, you will find we are exactly like the rest of nature, and we are not good or bad or right or wrong. We are just the way we are. In the dream of the planet, we have the need to justify everything, to make everything good or bad or right or wrong, when it is just the way it is. Period. Humans accumulate a lot of knowledge. We learn always believe morals, rules from our family, society, and religion, and we base most of our behavior, most of our feelings on that knowledge, and we create angels, demons. Of course, sex becomes the biggest demon in hell. Sex is the biggest sin of the humans, and when the human body is made for sex, you are a biological sexual being, and that is just the way it is. Your body is so wise, all that intelligence is in the genes and in the DNA, and the DNA does not need to understand or justify everything, it just knows. The problem is not with the sex. The problem is really nothing to justify. It's so hard for the mind to surrender, to accept that it's just the way it is. We have a whole set of beliefs about what sex should be, about how relationships should be, and these beliefs are completely distorted. In hell, we pay a high price for a sexual encounter, but the intrinsic is so strong that we do it anyway, and then we have all the guilt, all the shame. We hear all the gossip about sex, and look at what this woman is doing. Oh, look at that man. We have a whole definition of that, what a woman is, what a man is, how a woman should behave sexually, how a man should behave sexually, and men are always too macho or too wimpy depending on who is judging, and women are always too thin or too fat. We have all this belief about how a woman should be in order to be beautiful. You have to buy the right clothes, create the right image, you can be seductive and fit that image. If you don't fit that image of beauty, you grow up believing that you are not worthy and that no one will like you. We believe so many lies about sex that we don't enjoy sex, and sex is for animals, sex is evil, and we should be ashamed to have sexual feelings. And these rules about sex go completely against nature. And it's just a dream, but we believe it. Your true nature comes out and it doesn't fit with all those rules, and you are guilty, you are not what you should be, you are judged, you are victimized, you punish yourself, and it's not fair. And this creates wounds that become infected with emotional poison. The mind plays this game, but the body does not care what the mind believes. The body just feels this sexual need. At a certain time in our life, we cannot avoid feeling sexual attraction, and this is completely normal. It is not a problem at all, and the body is going to feel sexual when it's excited, when it's touched, when it's visually stimulated, when it sees the possibility of sex, and the body can feel sexual, and a few minutes later stop feeling sexual if the stimulation ends, and the body stops feeling the need for sex. And but the mind is another story. Let's say that you are married and were raised as a Catholic. You have all those ideas about how sex should be and about what is going to be good or bad or right or wrong, about what is a sin and what is acceptable. You need to sign a contract to make a sex okay. If you don't sign the contract, sex is a sin, and you have given your word to be loyal, but one day you are walking on the street and a man crosses in front of you, you feel a strong attraction, the body feels the attraction, and there is no problem. It doesn't mean you will take any action, but you cannot avoid the feeling because it's completely normal. When the stimulation is gone, the body lets go, but the mind needs to justify what the body feels. The mind knows, and that's the problem. Your mind knows you know, but what is it that you know? You know what you believe. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad, or right or wrong, correct or incorrect. You are erased to believe this is a bad thing, and right away you make that the judgment, and now the drama and conflict begin. Later, you think of that man, and just thinking of him makes your hormone go up again. Because of the powerful memory that's in the mind, it's as if your body is seeing him again, and the body reacts because the mind thinks about it. If the mind would leave the body alone, that reaction would go away as if it never happened. But the mind remembers it Because you know it's not okay, you start to judge yourself. The man says it's not okay and tries to repress what it feels. When you try to repress your mind, guess what? You think about it more. Then you see that man, and even if it's in a different situation, your body reacts more strongly. If the first time you had just let go of the judgment, perhaps you would see him the second time and you would have no reaction at all. But you see the man, you have sexual feeling and you judge this feeling and think, oh my god, it's not okay, I'm terrible woman. You need to be punished. You are guilty, you are going to downward spiral and for nothing because it's all in the mind. Perhaps that man does not even notice that you exist. You start imagining the whole thing, you make assumption, you start to want him more, and for whatever reason you meet the man. You talk to him, it's beautiful for you, it becomes an obsession, it's very attractive, but you are afraid. Then you make love to him, and it's the greatest thing and the worst thing at the same time. Now you really need to be punished, and what kind of woman would allow her sexual desire to be the greater than her morals? Who knows what games the mind is going to play? You hurt, but you try to deny your feeling. You try to justify your action to avoid emotional pain, and well, my husband is probably the same way. The attraction becomes stronger, but it's not because of your body. It's because the mind is playing a game, the fear becomes an obsession, and all that fear you have about your sexual attraction is building up. When you make love with this man, you have a great experience, but not because he is a great, and not because the sex was great, but because all the tension, all the fear is released. To build it up again, the mind plays this game that it's because of that man, but it is not true. The drama keeps growing and it's nothing but the simple mental game. It's not even real. It's not love either, because this kind of relationship becomes very destructive. It is self-destructive because you are hurting yourself, and the place that hurt most is what you believe. It doesn't matter if your belief is right or wrong or bad or good. You are breaking your belief, which is something that we wish to do, but in the way of the spiritual warrior, not the way of the victim. And now you are going to use that experience to go deeper into hell, and not to get out of hell. Your mind and your body have completely different needs, but your mind has control of your body. Your body has needs that you cannot avoid. You have to fulfill the need for food, you need for water, shelter, sleeping, and sex. All those needs of your body are completely normal, and it's so easy to satisfy the needs of the body, and the problem is that the mind says there, these are my needs. In the mind, we create a whole picture in this bubble of illusion, and the mind takes responsibility for everything. The mind thinks it has need for the food, for water, for shelter, for clothing, for sex, but the mind has no need at all, no physical needs. The mind does not need food, does not need oxygen, does not need water, does not need sex at all. How do we know this is true? When your mind says I need food, you eat and the body is completely satisfied, but your mind still thinks it needs food more. You keep eating and eating and eating, and you cannot satisfy your mind with food because the need is not real. The need to cover your body is another example. And yes, your body needs to be covered because the wind is too cold or because the sun is too hot, but it's your body that has the need, and it's so easy to satisfy in the need. When the need is in the mind, you can have tons of clothes and the mind still needs clothes. You open the closet and it's full of clothes, but your mind is not satisfied. What does it say? I have nothing to wear. The mind needs another car, another vacation, a gas house for your friends. All those needs that you never can fully satisfy are the mind. And well, it's the same with sex. When the need is in the mind, you cannot satisfy the need. When the need is in the mind, the whole judgment, the whole knowledge is also there. This makes sex so difficult to deal with, and the mind does not need sex. What the mind really needs is love, not sex. And more than the mind, it's your soul that needs love, because your mind can survive with fear. Fear is an energy also, and it's food for the mind. Not exactly the food you want, but it works. And we need to give the body the freedom for the tyrant that is the mind. If we no longer have the need for food in our mind and the need for sex in our mind, everything becomes so easy. The first step is to split the need into two categories, and these are the needs of the body. These are the needs of the mind. The mind confuses the need of the body with its own needs because the mind needs to know, what am I? We live in this world of illusion and we have no idea what we are. The mind creates all these questions. What am I? It becomes the biggest mystery, and any answer satisfies the need to feel safe. The mind says, I am the body. I am what I see. I am what I think. And I am what I feel. I'm hurting and I'm bleeding. The affinity between the mind and the body is so close that the mind believes, I am the body has the need, and the mind says, I need. The mind thinks everything about the body personally because it tries to understand what am I. So it is completely normal that the mind starts to gain control of the body at a certain point. And you live your life until something happens that shakes you and allow you to see what you are not. You start to become aware when you see what you are not, and when your mind starts to realize that it is not the body, your mind says, then what am I? Am I the hand? If I cut off my hand, I'm still me, and I'm not the hand. You take away what is not you, until in the end, the only thing that remains is what you really are. It's a long process of the mind finding its own identity. In the process, you let go of the personal story, what makes you feel safe, until finally you understand what you really are. You find out that you are not what you believe you are because you never close your beliefs. And these beliefs were there when you were born. You find out that you are also not the body because you stop to function without your body. You start to notice that you are not the dream, you are not the mind. If you go deeper, you start noticing that you are not the soul either. And then what you find out is so incredible. You find out that what you are is a force that makes it possible for your body to live, a force that makes it possible for your whole mind to dream. Without this force, your body would collapse on the floor. Without you, your whole dream just dissolve into nothing. What you really are is that force that is life. If you look into the eyes of someone near you, you will see the self-awareness, the manifestation of life, shining in his eyes. And life is not the body, it is not the mind, it's not the soul, it is the force. Through this force, a newborn baby becomes a child, a teenager, an adult. It reproduces, grows old. When life leaves the body decomposes and turns to dust. You are life passing through your body, passing through your mind, passing through your soul. And once you find that out, not with the logic, not with the intellect, but because you can feel that life, you'll find out that you are the force that makes the flower open and close, and that makes the hummingbird fly from flower to flower. You find out that you are in every tree, you are in every animal, vegetable, and rock. You are that force that moves the wind and breathes through your body, and the whole universe is a living being that is moved by that force, and that is what you are. You are life. The divine huntress. In Greek mythology, there is a story about Artemis, the divine huntress. Artemis was the supreme huntress because the way she hunted was effortless. She fulfilled her need so easily and lived in a perfect harmony with the forest. Everything in the forest loved Artemis, and to be hunted by her was an honor. It never seemed like Artemis was hunting. Whatever she needed came to her. That is why she was the best hunter. But this also made her the most difficult prey. Her animal form was a magical deer and was almost impossible to hunt. Artemis lived in a perfect harmony in the forest until one day a king gave an order to Hercules, the son of Zeus, who was searching for his own transcendency. The order was that Hercules had to hunt the magical deer of Artemis. Hercules, being the undefeated son of Zeus, and did not refuse. He went to the forest to hunt the deer, and the deer saw Hercules, and she was not afraid of him. She let Hercules come close, and when Hercules tried to capture her, she ran. There was no way Hercules could get this deer unless he became a better hunter than Artemis. Hercules called him Hermes, and the messengers of the god, the fastest one, to lend him with his wings. And now Hercules was as fast as Hermes, and so the most valuable prey was in the hands of Hercules. You can imagine the reaction of Artemis. She was hunted by Hercules, and of course she wanted to get even, and she wanted to hunt Hercules, and she did not her best to capture him. But Hercules was now the most difficult prey. Hercules was so free, and although she tried, Artemis could not capture him. Artemis did not need Hercules at all. She felt a strong need to have him, but of course it was only an illusion. She believed that she was in love with Hercules and she wanted him for herself, and the one thing on her mind was to get Hercules, and it became an obsession until she was no longer happy. Artemis started to change. She was no longer in harmony with the forest because now she hunted just for the pleasure of getting the prey. Artemis broke her own rules and became a predator. The animals were afraid and the forest started to reject her, but the Artemis didn't care. She didn't say the truth. She only had Hercules on her mind. Hercules had many works to do, but sometimes he would go to the forest to visit Artemis. Every time he did, Artemis did her best to hunt him. When she was with Hercules, she was so happy to be with him, but she knew he would leave and she became jealous and possessive. Every time Hercules left, she suffered and she cried. She hated Hercules, but she loved him also. Hercules had no idea what was going on in the mind of Artemis. He didn't notice she was hunting him. In his mind, he was never the prey. Hercules loved and respected Artemis, but this is not what she wanted. Artemis wanted to own him, and she wanted to hunt him and be the predator with him. And of course, everyone in the forest noticed the difference in the Artemis except her. In her mind, she was still the divine huntress, and she didn't have the awareness that she had fallen. She was not aware that the heaven, that was the forest, had become hell because of her fall. The rest of the hunters fell with her and they all become predators. One day, Hermes took an animal form, and just as Artemis was ready to destroy Hermes, he became a god, and Zeuxis discovered the wisdom she had lost. He let her know she had fallen, and with this awareness, Artemis went to Hercules to ask for his forgiveness. It was nothing but her personal importance that broke her to that fall. In talking to Hercules, and realized she had never offended him because he didn't know what was going on in her mind. And then she looked around the forest and she saw what she had done to the forest. She apologized to every follower, to every animal, until she recovered love. Once again, Artemis became the divine huntress. I tell the story to let you know that all of us are hunters and all of us are prey. Everything that exists is both hunter and prey, and what is it that we hunt to fulfill our needs. I have talked about the needs of the body versus the needs of our mind. When the mind believes it is the body, the needs are only illusions and they cannot be fulfilled. When we hunt those needs that are unreal in the mind, we become the predators. We are hunting for what we don't need. And humans hunt for love. We feel that we need that love because we believe we don't have love, because we don't love ourselves. We hunt for love in other humans just like us, expecting to get love from them, when these humans are in the same condition as we are and they don't love themselves either. So how much love can we get from them? We may really create a bigger need that is not real. We keep hunting and hunting, but in the wrong place, because other humans don't have the love we need. When Artemis became aware of her fall, she went back to herself, because everything she needed was inside herself. It is the same for all of us, because all of us are like Artemis after she fell, and before her redemption, we are hunting for love, we are hunting for justice and happiness, we are hunting for God, but God is inside us. The hunting of the magical deer teaches you that you have to hunt inside yourself. This is a great story to keep in mind. If you remember the story of Artemis, he will always want the love inside you. And humans who hunt each other for love will never be satisfied. They will never find the love they need in other humans. The mind feels the need, but we cannot fulfill it because it is not there. It is never there. The love we need to hunt is inside ourselves, but that love is difficult to pray. It is so difficult to hunt inside yourself, to get that love from inside you. You have to be very fast as Hermes, because anything can distract you from your goal. Whatever traps your attention distract you from reaching your goal, from getting the prey that is the whole love inside. If you can capture the prey, you will see that your love can grow strong inside you and it can fulfill all your needs. And this is so important for your happiness. And usually humans go into relationship as the hunter. They look for what they feel they need and hoping to find what they need in the other person, only to find that it's not there. When you enter a relationship without this need, it's a different story. How do you hunt inside yourself? To capture the love inside yourself, you have to surrender to yourself as the hunter and the prey inside your own mind, and there is the hunter, that there is also the prey. Who is the hunter? Who is the prey? In ordinary people, the hunter is the parasite. The parasite knows everything about you, and what the parasite wants are the emotion that comes from fear, and the parasite is a garbage eater. It loves fear and drama, it loves anger, jealousy and envy, it loves any emotion that makes you suffer, and the parasite wants to get even, and it wants to be in control. Your self-abuse as a parasite is hunting you 24 hours a day. It is always after you, so we become the prey of the parasite, a very easy prey. The parasite is the one who abuses you. It is more than a hunter, it is a predator, it is eating you alive. And the prey, the emotional body, is that part of us that suffers, and the suffers is that part of us that wants to be redeemed. In the Greek mythology, there is also the story of Prometheus, who is chained to a rock. During the day, an eagle comes and eats his innards. During the night, he recovers, and every day the eagle comes and eats his insides again. What does this mean? When Prometheus is awake, he has a physical and emotional body. The eagle is the parasite that is eating his inside, and during the night he doesn't have the emotional body, and he recovers. He is born again to be the food for that eagle, until Hercules comes to release him. Hercules is like the Christ, Buddha, or Moses, who breaks the chain of suffering and gives you your freedom to hunt inside yourself. You start by hunting every reaction you have. You are going to change one routine at a time. It is a war for freedom from the dream that control your life. It is a war between you and the predator with the truth in the middle. In all of the Western tradition, from Canada to Argentina, we call ourselves warriors, because a warrior is the hunter who hunts herself. It is a big war because it's a war against the parasite. To be a warrior does not mean you will win the war, but at least you rebel, and you no longer accept that the parasite is eating you alive. Becoming the hunter is the first step. When Hercules went into the forest in search of Artemis, there was no way he could capture the deer. Then he went to Hermes, the supreme teacher, and he learned to become a better hunter. He needed to be better than Artemis in order to hunt her. To hunt yourself, you also need to be a better hunter than the parasite. If the parasite is working 24 hours a day, you also have to work 24 hours a day. The parasite has an advantage. It knows you very well, and there is no way you can hide. The parasite is the most difficult prey. It's that part of you that tries to justify your behavior in front of the other people, but when you are alone, it is the worst judge. It is always judging, blaming, and making you feel guilty. In a normal relationship in hell, the parasite of your partner allies with your parasite against the real you have against yourself, not just your own parasite, but the parasite of your partner, who aligns with your parasite to make the suffering eternal. If you know that, you can make a difference. You can have more compassion for your partner and allow her to deal with her own parasite. You can be happy every time your partner takes another step toward freedom. You can be aware that when your partner gets upset, gets sad, or jealousy, it's not the one you love that are dealing with that moment. It's the parasite that is possessing your partner. And knowing the parasite is there and knowing what is going on in your partner, you can give your partner the space to deal with it. Since you are only responsible for your half of the relationship, you can allow her to deal with her own personal dream. And that way it will be easy not to take it personally what your partner is doing. And this will help your relationship a lot, because nothing that your partner does is personal. Your partner is dealing with her own garbage. If you don't take it personally, it will be so easy for you to have a wonderful relationship with your partner. Seeing with eyes of love. If you look at your body, you will find billions of living beings who depend on you. Every cell in your body is a living being that depends on you, and you are responsible for all those beings and for all those living beings that are your cells. You are a God. You can provide what they need. You can love all this living being, and you can be so mean to them. The cells in your body are completely loyal to you. They work for you in harmony. We can even say that they pray to you. You are their God, and that is absolutely the truth. And now that you are going to do with this knowledge. Remember, the whole forest was in complete harmony with Artemis. When Artemis fell, she lost respect for the whole forest. When she recovered her awareness, Artemis went from flower to say, I'm sorry, I know I will take care of you again. And the relationship between Artemis and the forest became a love relationship again. The whole forest is your body, and if you just acknowledge this truth, you will say to your body, I am sorry, and now I will take care of you again. The relationship between you and your body, between you and all those living cells that depends on you, can become the most beautiful relationship. Your body and all these living cells are perfect in their half of the relationship, just like the dog is perfect in its half, and the other half is your mind, and your body takes care of its half of the relationship. But the mind is the one that abuses the body, that mistreats the body, that gets so mean with the body. Just look at the way you treat your cat or your dog. If you can treat your body the same way you treat your pet, you will see that it's about love. Your body is willing to receive all the love from the mind, but the mind says, no, I don't like this part of my body. Look at my nose. I don't like my nose. My ears, they are too large. My body is too fat. My legs are too short. The mind can imagine all kind of things about the body. Your body is perfect the way it is. But then we have all this concept about right and wrong, good and bad, beautiful and ugly. These are just concepts, but we believe them, and that's the problem. With the image of perfection we have in our mind, we expect our body to look a certain way, to act a certain way. We reject our own body when the body is completely loyal to us. Even when our body cannot do something because of its limitation, we push our body, and our body at least tries. Look at what you do with your own body. If you reject your own body, what can other people expect from you? If you accept your own body, you can accept almost everyone, almost everything. And this is a very important point when it comes to the art of relationship. The relationship you have with yourself is reflected in your relationship with others. If you reject your own body when you are sharing your love with your partner, if you reject your own body when you are sharing your love with your partner, you become shy. You think, look at my body, how can he love me when I have a body like this? Then you reject yourself and make assumption that the other person will reject you for the same thing you reject in yourself. And when you reject someone else, you reject him for the same thing you reject in yourself. To create a relationship that takes you all the way to heaven, you have to accept your body completely. You have to love your body and allow your body to be free, just to be. And to be free to give, free to receive, without being shy, because shy is nothing but fear. Imagine how you see your pet dog. You see the dog with the eyes of love, and you enjoy the beauty of that dog. It doesn't make any difference whether that dog is beautiful or ugly. You can go into ecstasy just seeing the beauty of that dog. And because it's not about praising beauty, beauty is just concept we learn. Do you think a turtle or a frog is ugly? You can see a frog and the frog is beautiful, it's gorgeous. You can see a turtle and it's beautiful. Everything that exists is beautiful, everything. But you think, oh, that is ugly because someone made you believe what is ugly and what is beautiful, just as someone made you believe what is good and what is bad. There is no problem at all with being beautiful or ugly, short or tall, thin or heavy. There is no problem with being gorgeous. If you walk through a crowd of people and they tell you, oh, you are beautiful, you can say, thank you, I know, and keep going. It doesn't make any difference to you, but it will make a difference to you if you don't believe you are beautiful and someone tells you that, and then you are going to say, am I really? This opinion can impress you, and of course that makes you easy prey. This opinion is what you think you need, and because you believe you are not beautiful, remember the story of the magical kitchen. If you have all the food you need and someone asks you to let him control you for a food, you say no, thank you. If you wish to be beautiful but you don't believe you are, and someone says, I will always tell you how beautiful you are, and if you just let me control you, you will say, oh yes, please tell me I'm beautiful. You are going to allow that to happen because you think you need that opinion. What is important are not all of those opinions from others, but your own opinions. You are beautiful no matter what your mind tells you, and that is fact. You don't have to do anything because you already have all the beauty you need to be beautiful. You don't have any obligation to anyone. Others are free to see whatever they want to see. If others see you and judge you beautiful or not, if you are aware of your own beauty and accept your own beauty, their opinion does not affect you at all. Perhaps you grew up believing that you are unattractive and you envy beauty in others, then you justify the envy. You tell yourself, I don't want to be beautiful. You might even have a fear of being beautiful, and this fear can come from many directions, and it's not the same for everyone. But often it is the fear of your own power. Women who are beautiful have power over men, and not just over men, but over women. Other women who are not as beautiful as you are may envy you because you attract the attention of men. If you dress a certain way and all the men crazy about you, what are the women going to say about you? Oh, she's loose women. You become afraid of all the judgment people have about you, and this is nothing but concepts again. Nothing but false belief that open wounds in the emotional body, and then of course we have to cover these wounds with lies and denial system. Envy is also a belief that can easily be broken with awareness. You can learn to deal with the envy of other women or other men, because the truth is that each of you is beautiful. The only difference between the beauty and the person and the beauty of another is the concept of beauty that people have. Beauty is nothing but a concept, nothing but a belief, but you can believe in that concept of beauty and base all your power on that beauty. Time passes and you see you are getting old, perhaps you are not as beautiful as you were from your point of view, and a younger woman comes along who is now the one who is beautiful, and time for plastic surgery to try to keep the power, because we believe that our beauty is our power. Our own ego starts to hurt us, and oh my god, my beauty is going away. Will my man still love me if I am not as attractive? And now he can see other women who are more attractive than me. We resist aging. We believe that because someone is old, it means he is not beautiful. This belief is completely wrong. If you see a newborn baby, it is beautiful. When an old person is also beautiful, the problem is the emotion we have in our eyes to perceive what is and what is not beautiful. We have all those judgments, all these programs that put limits on our own happiness, that push us to self-rejection and to reject other people. Also, can you see how we play the drama? How we set ourselves up to fill with all this belief? Aging is something beautiful, just as growing up is beautiful. We grow from a child to a teenager to a young woman or a young woman. It's beautiful to become an old woman, or an old man is also beautiful in the life of humans. There are certain years when we actively reproduce. During this year, we may want to be sexually attractive because nature makes us that way. After that, we don't have to be sexually attractive from that point of view, but it does not mean we are not beautiful. You are what you believe you are, and there is nothing to do except to be just what you are. You have the right to feel beautiful and enjoy it. You can honor your body and accept it as it is, and you don't need anyone to love you. Love comes from the inside. It lives inside us and always there, but with the wall of fog, we don't feel it. You can only perceive the beauty that lives outside you when you feel the beauty that lives inside you. You have a belief about what is beautiful and what is ugly, and if you don't like yourself, you can change your belief and your life will change. It sounds simple, but it is not easy. Whoever controls the belief controls the dream. When the dreamer finally controls the dream, and the dream can become a masterpiece of art. You can begin by doing a puja for your body every day. In India, people perform puja or ritual for different gods and goddesses. In the puja, they bow to the idol, they put flowers near the idol, and they feed the idol with all their love, because this status represent God. And every day you can offer a devotional love to your own body. When you take a shower, when you take a bath, treat your body with all your love, treat your body with honor, with gratitude, with respect. When you eat, take a bite, close your eyes and enjoy the food, and that food is an offering to your own body, to the temple where God lives. Do this every day and you will feel your love for your body growing stronger each day, and you will never again reject yourself. Just imagine how you feel the day you adore your own body. When you accept yourself completely, you will feel so good about your own body and you are going to be so happy. Then when you relate with someone else, your limit of self-abuse is almost zero. And this is self-love. This is not personally important because you treat others with the same love, the same honor, the same respect, and the same gratitude you use with yourself. Can you see the perfection in the relationship like that? It's about honoring the God inside each other. When you make it your goal to create the perfect relationship between you and your body, you are learning to have a perfect relationship with anyone you are with, including your mother, your friend, your lover, your children, your dog, your pet. When you have the perfect relationship between you and your body, in that moment, Your half of any relationship outside you is completely fulfilled. You no longer depend upon the success of a relationship from the outside, and when you do a puja with your own body, when you know how to have that devotion of your own body, and you touch your lover's body, you touch it with the same devotion, the same love, the same honor, the same gratitude, and when your lover touches your body, it's completely open, and there is no fear, there is no need. It is full of love. Imagine all the possibilities in sharing your love this way. You don't even need to touch, just looking into each other's eyes is enough to fulfill the needs of the mind and the needs of the soul. The body is already satisfied because it has all you love. You are never lonely anymore because you are fulfilled with your own love. Wherever you turn your face, you will be fulfilled by love, but you not from other humans. You can see a tree and feel all the love coming from the tree to you, and you can see the sky, and it's going to fulfill the needs of your mind for love, and you will see God everywhere, and it will no longer be just a theory. God is everywhere, love is everywhere, everything is made by love, by life. Yeah, love is life. Even fear is a reflection of love, but fear exists in the mind, and in humans, that fear controls the mind. Then we interpret everything according to what we have in our mind. If we have a fear, that what we perceive will be analyzed with fear. If we are mad, what we perceive will be perceived according to anger, and our emotion act like a filter through which we see the rest of the world. You could say that the eyes are an expression of what you feel. You perceive the outside dream according to your eyes, and when you are angry, you see the world with eyes of anger. If you have eyes of jealousy, your reaction will be different, because the way you see the world is through jealousy. When you have the eyes of madness, everything will bother you. If you have the eyes of sadness, you are going to cry because it's raining, because there is noise, because of everything. Rain is rain, and there is nothing to judge or interpret. But you are going to see the rain according to your emotional body. If you are sad, you see with the eyes of sadness, and everything you perceive will be sad. But if you have the eyes of love, you just see love wherever you go. The trees are made with love, the animals are made with love, the water is made with love. When you perceive with the eyes of love, you can connect with your will, with the will of the another dreamer, and the dreamer becomes one. When you perceive with love, you become one with the birds, with nature, with the person, with everything. Then you can see with the eyes of the eagle, or transform into any kind of life with your love, or you connect with the eagle and you become the wings, or you become the train or the clouds. But to do this, you need to clean the mind of fear and perceive with eyes of love. You have to develop your will until it is so strong that it can hook the other wheel and become one wheel. Then you have wings to fly or being wind, and you can come here, you can go there, you can push away the clouds, and the sun is shining, and this is the power of love. When we fulfill the needs of our mind and our body, our eyes see with love. We see God everywhere. We even see God behind the parasite of other people. Inside every human is the promised land, and the Moses promised his people, and that promised land is the realm of the human mind, but only in the mind that is fertile for love, because that is where God lives. If you see the ordinary human mind, it is also the fertile land, but for the parasite that grows the seed of envy, anger, jealousy, and fear, in the Christian tradition, the fear, you hear of Gabriel coming with the trumpet for resurrection, and everyone comes out of his grave to life, the eternal life. And that grave is the parasite, and the resurrection is the return of to life, because you are alive only when your eyes can see life, which is love. And you can have a relationship with that fulfill your dream of heaven. You can create a paradise, but you have to begin with you. Begin with complete acceptance of your body, hand the parasite, and make it surrender. Then the one will love your body and will no longer sabotage your love. It's up to you, it's not up to anyone else. But first, you are going to learn how to heal your emotional body. Chapter 11, Healing the Emotional Body. Let's imagine again that we have a skin disease with wounds that are infected. When we want to heal the skin and we go to a doctor, the doctor is going to use a scalpel to open the wounds, and then the doctor is going to clean the wounds, apply medicine, and keep the wounds clean until they heal and no longer hurt us. To heal the emotional body, we are going to do the same thing. We need to open the wounds and clean the wounds and use some medicine and keep the wounds clean until they heal. How are we going to open the wounds? We are going to use the truth as a scalpel to open the wounds. 2000 years ago, one of the greatest masters told us, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. The truth is like a scalpel because it is painful to open your wounds and uncover all the lies, and the ones in our emotional body are recovered by a denial system and the system of lies we have created to protect us once. When we look at our wants with eyes of truth, we can finally heal these wants, and you begin by practicing the truth with yourself. When you are truthful with yourself, you start to see everything as it is, not the way you want to see it. And let us use an example that is emotionally charged. Rape. Let's say that someone raped you 10 years ago, and it is true that you were raped. Yeah, sorry, the wrong pronunciation. Right now, it is no longer true. It was a dream, and in that dream, someone abused you with the violence, and you didn't look for that. It was nothing personal. For whatever reason, it happened to you, and it can happen to anyone. But by being raped, will you condemn yourself to suffer in your sexuality for the rest of your life? The rapist is not condemning you to do that. You are the victim, and if you judge yourself and find yourself guilty, for how many years will you punish yourself by not enjoying something that is one of the most beautiful things in the world? Sometimes being raped can destroy your sexuality for the rest of your life. Where is the justice? You are not the rapist, so why you should suffer the rest of your life for something you didn't do? You are not guilty for being raped, but the judge in your mind can make you suffer and live in the shame for many years. Of course, this injustice will create a strong emotional one and a lot of emotional poison that could take years of therapy to be released. And the truth is that, yes, you were raped, but it's no longer true that you must suffer this experience, and that is a choice. This is the first step in using the truth as a scalpel. You find that the injustice that created the one is no longer true, and right now in this moment you discover that perhaps what you believe hurt you so badly was never true. Even if it was true, it doesn't mean that now it is true. By using the truth, you open the one and see the injustice from a new perspective. The truth is relative in this world. It's changing all the time because we live in the world of illusion. And what is true right now is not true later. Then it could be true again. The truth in hell could also be just another concept, another lie that can be used against you. And our own denial system is so powerful and strong that it becomes very complicated. And there are truths covering lies and lies covering truth, and like a peeling an onion, you uncover the truth little by little, and in the end you open your eyes to find out that everyone around you, including yourself, is lying all the time. Almost everything in this world of illusion is a lie, and that is why I ask my apprentices to follow 3 rules for seeing what is true. The first rule is, don't believe me. You don't have to believe me, but think and make choices. Believe what you want to believe according to what I say, but only if it makes sense for you. If it makes you happy, if it guides you into your awakening, then make the choice to believe it. I am responsible for what I say, but I am not responsible for what you understand. We live in a completely different dream, and what I say, even if it is absolutely true for me, it is not necessarily true for you. And the first rule is very easy. Don't believe me. Rule number 2 is more difficult. Don't believe yourself. Don't believe all the lies you tell yourself. All those lies that are never choose to believe, but we're programmed to believe. Don't believe yourself when you say you are not good enough, you are not strong enough, you are not intelligent enough. Don't believe your own boundaries and limitations. Don't believe you are unworthy of happiness or love. Don't believe you are not beautiful. Don't believe whatever makes you suffer. Don't believe in your own drama. Don't believe in your own judge or your own victim. Don't believe in the inner voice that tells you how stupid you are, that tells you to kill yourself. Don't believe it because it's not true. Open your ears, open your heart, and listen. When you hear your heart guiding you to your happiness, then make a choice and stick to it. But don't believe yourself just because you say so, because more than 80% of what you believe is a lie. It is not true. The second rule is a difficult one. Do not believe yourself. Rule number 3 is don't believe anyone else. Don't believe other people because they are lying all the time anyway. When you no longer have emotional ones, when you don't have the need to believe other people just to be accepted, you see everything more clearly. You see if it is black or white, if it is not or is not, and what is right now and maybe in a few moments is not, and what is not right now maybe in a few moments will be. Everything is changing so fast. But if you are aware, you can see the change. Don't believe others because they will use your own stupidity to manipulate your mind. Don't believe anyone who says she comes from Pleiades and she wants to save the world. And bad news, we don't need anyone to come and save the world. The world does not need the aliens to come from the outside to save us. The world is alive, it's a living being, and it's more intelligent than all of us together. If you believe the world is need to be saved, soon someone will come and say, okay, Cornet is coming. We need to escape from the planet. Kill yourself and boom, you will reach the comet, and go to heaven. Don't believe these mythologies. You create your own dream of heaven. No one can create it for you, and nothing but common sense will guide you to your own happiness, to your own creation. And rule number 3 is difficult because we have to need to believe other people. Don't believe them. Don't believe me, don't believe yourself, don't believe anyone else. By not believing, whatever is untrue will disappear like a smoke in the world of illusion. Everything is what it is, and you don't need to justify what is true. You don't need to explain it. What is true does not need anyone's support. Your lies need your support, and you need to create a lie to support the first lie, another lie to support that lie, and the more lies to support all those lies. You create a big structure of lie that when the truth comes out, everything falls apart, but that's just the way it is. You don't need to feel guilty because you are lying, and most of the lies we believe simply dissipate. If we don't believe them, whatever is not true will not survive skepticism. But the truth will always survive skepticism, and what is truth is truth. Believe it or not, your body is made of atoms. You don't have to believe it. Believe it or not, it is true. The universe is made of stars, and this is true, believe it or not. Only what is true will survive, and that includes the concept you have about yourself. We have said that when we were children, we didn't have the opportunity to choose what to believe and what not to believe. And well, now it is different. And now that we are grown, we have the power to make a choice. We can believe or not believe, even if something is not the truth. If we choose to believe it, we can believe it just because we want to believe it. You can choose how you want to live your life. You live your life, and if you are honest with yourself, you will know you are always free to make new choices. When we are willing to see with eyes of truth, we uncover some of the lies and open the wounds. And still there is the poison inside the wounds. And once we open the wounds, we are going to clean the wounds of all the poison. And how are we going to do this? The same master gave us the solution 2000 years ago. Yeah, forgiveness. There is no other way but forgiveness to clean the wounds of all the poison. You must forgive those who hurt you, even if whatever they did to you is unforgivable in your mind, and you will forgive them not because they deserve to be forgiven, but because you don't want to suffer and hurt yourself every time you remember what they did to you. It doesn't matter what others did to you, you are going to forgive them because you don't want to feel sick all the time. Forgiveness is for you, for your own mental healing. You will forgive because you feel compassion for yourself. Forgiveness is an act of self-love. Let's take an example of a divorced woman. Imagine you have been married for 10 years and for whatever reason you have a big fight with your husband over a big injustice. You get divorced and you really hate your ex-husband. Just hearing his name, you feel a strong pain in your stomach and you want to throw up, and the emotional poison is so strong that you cannot stand it any longer. You need help, so you go to a therapist and say, I'm suffering so much, I'm full of anger, jealousy, and envy. What he did is unforgivable. I hate that man. The therapist looks at you and says you need to release all your emotion, you need to express your anger, and what you should do is have a big tantrum. Get a pillow, bite the pillow, hit the pillow, and release your anger. You go and have the biggest tantrum and you release all this emotion. It really seems to work. You walk out of the therapist's office. You pay your therapist $100 and say, thank you so much, I feel much better. Finally, you have a big smile on your face and you walk out the therapist's office, and guess who is driving through towns? As soon as you see your ex-husband, the same anger comes up, but even worse, you have to run the therapist again and pay another $100 for another tantrum. Releasing your emotion in this way is the only temporary solution. It may release some poison and make you feel better for a while, but it doesn't heal the wound. The only way to heal your wound is through forgiveness. You have to forgive your ex-husband for the injustice. You will know you have forgiven someone when you see him and you don't feel anything anymore. You will hear the name of the person and have no emotional reaction. When you can't touch your wound, it doesn't hurt then you know you have truly forgiven. Of course, a scar is going to be there just as it is on your skin. You will have a memory of what happened, of how you used to be, but once the one has healed, it won't hurt you any longer. Perhaps you are thinking, well, it's easy to say we should forgive. I have tried, but I cannot do it. You have all this reason, all this justification why you cannot forgive, but this is not the truth. The truth is that you cannot forgive because you learn not to forgive, because you practice not to forgive, because you mastered not to forgive. There was a time when we were children when forgiveness was our instinct. Before we catch the mental disease, it was for us the nature of to forgive. We used to forgive others almost right away. If you see two children playing together, they start to fight and hit each other, and the children cry and run to their mothers. Hey, she hit me. One mother goes to talk with the other mother, and the two mothers have a big fight, and 5 minutes later the two children are playing together again as if nothing happened, and now the mother hate each other for the rest of their lives. It is not what that we need to learn forgiveness because we are born with the capacity for forgiveness, but guess what happened? We learned the opposite behavior and we practice the opposite behavior, and now forgiveness is a very difficult. Whoever does something to us, forget it, and that's it. See, it's out of our life. It becomes a war of pride. Why? Because our personal importance grows when we don't forgive. It makes our opinion more important when we can say, whatever she does, I will not forgive her. What she did is unforgivable. The real problem is pride. Because of honor, we add more fire to the injustice to remind ourselves that we cannot forgive. Guess who is going to suffer and accumulate more and more emotional poison? We are going to suffer for all kinds of things people do around us, even though they have nothing to do with us. We also learn to suffer just to punish whoever abused us. We behave like a little child having a tantrum, just asking for attention. I'm hurting myself just to say, look at what I'm doing because of you. It's a big joke. But that's exactly what we do. What we really want to say is, God forgive me, but we will not say a word until God comes and asks for forgiveness first. Many times we don't even know why we are so upset with our parents, with our friends, with our mate. We are upset, and if for some reason the other person asks us for forgiveness, right away we start to cry and say, oh no, you forgive me. Go and find a little child in the corner having a tantrum, take your pride and put it in the trash. You don't need it. Just let go of the personal important and ask for forgiveness. Forgive others and you will see miracles start to happen in your life. First, make a list of everyone you believe you need to ask for forgiveness, and then ask them for forgiveness. Even if there is not enough time to call everyone, ask for their forgiveness in your prayers and through your dreams. And second, make a list of all the people who hurt you and all the people you need to forgive. And start with your parents, your brothers and sisters, your children, your spouse, your friends, your lover, your cat, your dog, your government, and God. Now, you are going to forgive others by knowing that whatever anyone did to you had nothing to do with you. Everyone dreams her own dreams. Remember, the words and action that hurt you are merely a reaction to the demons in that person's own mind, and is dreaming in hell, and you are a secondary character in her dream. Nothing anyone does is because of you. Once you have this awareness and you don't take it personally, compassion and understanding will lead you to forgiveness. Start working on forgiveness. Start practicing forgiveness. It will be difficult at first, but then it just becomes a habit. The only way to recover forgiveness is to practice again. You practice and practice until the end of you. You see if you can forgive yourself. At a certain point, you find that you must forgive yourself for all these wounds and all the poison you created for yourself in your own dream. When you forgive yourself, the self-acceptance begins and self-love grows. And that is the supreme forgiveness. When you finally forgive yourself, create an act of power and forgive yourself for everything you have done in your whole life. And if you believe in past lives, forgive everything you believe you did in all of your past lives. The concept of karma is true only because we believe it is true. Because of our belief about being good and bad, we feel ashamed about what we believe is bad. We find ourselves guilty. We believe we deserve to be punished, and we punish ourselves. We have to believe that what we create is so dirty that it needs to be clean. And just because you believe it, then the why will be done. That is real for you. You create your karma and you have to pay for it. That is how powerful you are. To break old karma is simple. You just stop that belief by refusing to believe it, and the karma is gone. You don't need to suffer. You don't need to pay anything. It is over. If you can forgive yourself, the karma is gone, just like that. And from this point on, you can start all over again, and the life becomes easy because forgiveness is the only way to clean the emotional wounds. Forgiveness is the only way to heal them. And once we have to clean the wounds, we are going to use the powerful medicine to accelerate the process of healing. Of course, the medicine also comes from the same great master. It is love, and love is the medicine that accelerates the process of healing. And there is no other medicine but unconditional love. Not I love you if or I love myself if. There is no if. There is no justification. There is no explanation. It is just to love. Love yourself, love your neighbor, love your enemies. This is simple common sense, but we cannot love others until we love ourselves, and that's why we must begin with self-love. There are millions of ways to express your happiness, but there is only one way to really be happy, and that is to love. There is no other way. You cannot be happy if you don't love yourself. That is a fact. If you don't love yourself, you don't have any opportunity to be happy. You cannot share what you do not have. If you do not love yourself, you cannot love anyone else either. But you can have a need for love, and if there is someone who needs you, that's what humans call love. And that is not love. That is possessiveness, that is selfishness, and that is control with no respect. Don't lie to yourself. That is not love. Love coming out of you is the only way to be happy. Unconditional love for yourself. Complete surrender to that love for yourself. You no longer resist life. You no longer reject yourself. You no longer carry all the blame and guilt, and you just accept who you are and accept everyone else the way he or she is. And you have the right to love, to smile, to be happy, to share your love, and to not be afraid to receive it also. That is the healing. And 3 simple points: the truth, forgiveness, and self-love. With these 3 points, and the whole world will heal and will no longer be a mental hospital. And these 3 keys to heal the mind were given to us by God, but He is not the only one who taught us how to heal. Buddha did the same, Krishna did the same, many other masters came to the same conclusion and gave us these same lessons. All around the world, from Japan to Mexico to Peru to Egypt to Greece, and there were humans who were healed, and they saw that the disease is in the human mind, and they used these 3 methods: the truth, forgiveness, and self-love. If we can see our state of mind as a disease, we find there is a cure. We don't have to suffer any longer if we are aware of that our mind is sick, that our emotional body is wounded. We can also heal. Just imagine if all humans could start being truthful with themselves, start forgiving everyone, and start loving everyone. If all humans love in this way, they would no longer be selfish. They would be open to give and receive, and they would no longer judge each other. Gossiping would be over, and the emotional poison would simply dissolve. And now we are talking about a completely different dream of the planet. It doesn't look like the planet of the Earth. This is what God called heaven on earth, Buddha called nirvana, and the Moses called the promised land. It is a place where all of us can live in love because we put our attention on love. We choose to love. And whatever you call the new dream, it is still a dream, as a real or as a false, as a dream of hell. But now you can choose which dream you want to live in. And now you have the tools in your hands to heal yourself. And the question is, what are you going to do with them? Chapter 12, God within you. You are the force that plays with your mind and uses your body as its favorite toy to play and have fun. That is the reason you are here, to play and have fun. And we are born with the right to be happy, with the right to enjoy life, and we are not here to suffer. Whoever wants to suffer is welcome to suffer, but we don't have to suffer. And then why do we suffer? Because the whole world suffers, and we make the assumption that suffering is normal. Then we create a belief system to support that truth, and our religions tell us that we came here to suffer, that life is a folly of the tears, and suffer today, have patience, and when you die you will have your reward. Sounds beautiful, but it is not true. We choose to suffer because we learn to suffer. If we continue to make the same choices, we will continue to suffer. The dream of the planet carries the story of humanity, the evolution of humans, and suffering is the result of human evolution. Humans suffer because we know that what we believe. We know all those lies, and because we cannot fulfill all those lies, we suffer. It's not true that you go to hell or to heaven after you die. You live in hell or you live in heaven, but now heaven and hell only exist in the level of the mind. If we suffer now, when we die, we will suffer because the mind does not die within the brain. The dream continues, and when our dream is hell, our brain dies, and when we are still dreaming in the same hell, the only difference between being dead and being asleep is that when we are sleeping, we can awake because we have a brain. When we are dead, we cannot awake because we don't have a brain, but the dream is there. Heaven or hell is here and now, and you don't need to wait to die. If you take responsibility for your own life, for your own action, then your future is in your hands, and you can live in heaven while the body is alive, and the dream as human create on this planet is obviously hell. This is not right or wrong or good or bad, and there is no one to blame. We can blame our parents. Can we blame our parents? No. They did the best they could when they programmed you as a little child. Their own parent did the same with them, and the best they could. If you have a children, you couldn't know what else to do either. How can you blame yourself? To become aware does not mean you need to blame anyone or carry guilt for what you have done. How can we carry guilt and blame for a mental disease that is seriously contagious? Everything that exists is perfect, and you are perfect just the way you are, and that is the truth, and you are a master. Even if you master anger and jealousy, and your anger and your jealousy are perfect, even if you have a big drama going in your life, it's perfect, it's beautiful. You can go to a movie like a Gone with the Wind and cry for all the drama. Who says that hell is not beautiful? Hell can inspire you. Even hell is perfect because only perfection exists. Even if you dream hell in your life, you are perfect just the way you are. It is only knowledge that makes us believe we are not perfect. Knowledge is nothing more than a description of the dream. The dream is not real, so knowledge is not real either. Wherever knowledge comes from, it is only real from one point of perception. Once you see if the perception, it's no longer real. We are never going to find ourselves with our knowledge. In the end, that is what we are looking for, to find ourselves, to be ourselves, to live our own life instead of the life of the parasite, the life we were programmed to live. It is not knowledge that will lead us to ourselves. It is wisdom. We have to make a distinction between knowledge and wisdom because they are not the same. The main way to use knowledge is to communicate with each other, to agree on what we perceive. Knowledge is the only tool we have to communicate because humans hardly communicate heart to heart. And what is important is how we use our knowledge, because we become the slaves of the knowledge and we are no longer free. Wisdom has nothing to do with knowledge. It has to do with the freedom. When you are wise, you are free to use your own mind and run your own life. A healthy mind is free of the parasite. It is free again the way it was before domestication. When you heal your mind, when you break free of the dream, you are no longer innocent but wise. You become just like a child again in many ways, except for one big difference. A child is innocent, and that's why he can fall into suffering and unhappiness. The one who transcends the dream is wise, and that is why she doesn't fall anymore, because she knows, and she also has knowledge of the dream. You don't need to accumulate knowledge to become wise. Anyone can become wise. Anyone. When you become wise, life becomes easy because you become who you really are. It's difficult to try to be what you are not, to try to convince yourself and everyone else that you are what you are not, and trying to be what you are not expends all your energy, and being what you are does not require any effort. When you become wise, you don't have to use all those images you created. You don't have to pretend to be someone or something else. You can accept yourself the way you are. The complete acceptance of yourself becomes the complete acceptance for everyone else, and you no longer try to change other people or impose your point of view. You respect other people's belief. You accept your body and your own humanity with all the instinct of your body, and there is nothing wrong with being an animal. We are animals, and animals always follow their instinct. We are humans, and because we are so intelligent, we learn to repress our instinct. We don't listen to what comes from the heart, and that's why we go against our own body and try to repress the needs of the body or deny they exist, and this is not wise. When you become wise, you respect your body, you respect your mind, you respect your soul. When you become wise, your life is controlled by your heart, not your head. You no longer sabotage yourself, your own happiness, or your own love. You no longer carry all the guilt and the blame. You no longer have all this judgment against yourself, and you no longer judge anyone else from the moment on, and all the belief that makes you unhappy and that push you to struggle in life, that make your life difficult, just vanish. Surrender all those ideas about being what you are not and become what you really are. When you surrender to your nature, to what you really are, you no longer suffer. When you surrender to the real you surrender to life and you surrender to God. Once you surrender, there is no longer struggle, there is no resistance, there is no suffering. Being wise, you always go for the easy way, which is to be yourself, whatever you are, and suffering is nothing but resistance to God. And the more you resist, the more you suffer. It is simple. Imagine that from one day to another, you awake from the dream and you are completely healthy. You no longer have wants and you no longer have emotional poison. Imagine the freedom you are going to experience. Everything is going to make you happy just to be alive wherever you go. Why? Because the healthy human being is not afraid to express love. You're not afraid to be alive. You're not afraid to love. Imagine you how you love, how you would live your life, and how you would treat the people you are close to if you no longer had those wounds and that poison in your emotional body. In the mystery schools around the world, this is called the awakening. It is as if you wake one day and you no longer have emotional wants, and when you no longer have those wants in the emotional body, the boundaries disappear and you start to see everything as it is and not according to your self-belief system. When you open your eyes and you don't have those wounds, you become a skeptic, not to increase your personal importance by telling everyone how intelligent you are, or to make fun of other people who believe in all these lies. No, when you awake, you become a skeptic because it's clear in your eyes that the dream is not true. You open your eyes and you are awake and everything becomes obvious. When you awake, you cross a line of no return and you never see the world in the same way. You are still dreaming because you cannot avoid dreaming, because dreaming is the function of the mind. But the difference is that you know it's a dream, knowing that you can enjoy the dream or suffer the dream, and that depends on you. The awakening is like a being at a party where there are thousands of people and everyone is drunk except you, and you are the only sober person in the party, and that is awakening, because the truth is that the most humans see the world through their emotional wounds, through their emotional poison. They don't have the awareness that they are living in the dream of hell. They are not aware that they are living in a dream, just as fish swimming in the water and are not aware of that they are living in the water. When we awake and we are only sober person in the party where everyone is drunk, we can have compassion because we were drunk too, and we don't need to judge, not even people in hell, because we too were in hell. When you awake, your heart is an expression of the spirit, an expression of love, an expression of life. And the awakening is when you have the awareness that you are life. When you are aware that you are the force of that is life, anything is possible. Miracles happen all the time because those miracles are performed by the heart. The heart is in direct communion with the human soul, and when the heart speaks, even with the resistance of the head, something inside you changes and your heart opens another heart, and the true love is possible. There is an old story from India about a god, Brahma, who was all alone and nothing existed but Brahma. And he was completely bored. Brahma decided to play a game, but there was no one to play the game with. So he created a beautiful goddess Maya just for the purpose of having fun. And once Maya excited and Brahma told her the purpose of her existence, he said, "Okay, let's play the most wonderful game, but you have to do what I tell you to do." Brahma agreed. The following Maya's interaction, he created the full universe. Brahma created the sun and the stars, the moon and the planet, and then he created life on earth, animals, oceans, and atmosphere, everything. And Maya said, "How beautiful is this world of illusion you created, and now I want you to create a kind of animal that is so intelligent and aware that it can appreciate your creation." And finally, Brahma created humans, and after he finished the creation, he asked Maya when the game was going to start. "We will start right now," she said. She took Brahma and cut him into 1,000 of teeny pieces. She put the pieces inside of her human and said, "Now the game begins. I'm going to make you forget what you are, and you are going to try to find yourself." Maya created the dream, and still, even today, Brahma is trying to remember who he is. Brahma is there inside you, and Maya is stopping you from remembering what you are. When you awake from the dream, you become Brahma again and reclaim your divinity. And then if Brahma inside you says, okay, I'm awake, what about the rest of me? You know, the trick of Maya, and you can share the truth with others who are going to wake up too. And two people who are sober in the party can have more fun, and the three people who are sober is even better and begin with you. Then others will start to change, and until the whole dream, the whole party is sober. The teaching that comes from India, from Toltecs, the Christians, and the Greeks, from societies all over the world, come from the same truth. They talk about reclaiming your divinity and finding God within you. They talk about having your heart completely open and become wise. Can you imagine what kind of world this would be if all humans opened their hearts and found the love inside? Of course, we can do it. Everyone can do it in his own way. It's not about following any imposed idea. It's about finding yourself, expressing yourself in your own particular way. And that is what you're. You are alive because of the power of God, and which is the power of life. You are the force that is life, but because you are able to think at the level of the mind, you forget what you really are. Then it's easy to see someone else and say, oh, there is God. God will be responsible for everything and God will save me. No, God has just come to tell you. To tell the God in you to be aware, to make a choice, to have the courage to work through all your fears and change them, so you are no longer afraid of love. The fear of love is one of the biggest fears that humans have. Why? Because in the dream of the planet, a broken heart means poor me. Perhaps you wonder, if we truly love our God, why don't we know it? Because we are programmed to not to know. We are taught you are a human and these are your limitations. Then we limit our possibilities by our own fears, and you are what you believe you are, and humans are power magicians. When you believe you are what you are, then that is what you are. And you can do that because you are alive, God, intent, and you have the power to make yourself what you are right now. But it's not your reasoning mind that controls your power, it's what you believe. You see, everything is about belief, and whatever we believe rules our existence, rules our life. And the belief system we create is like a little box we put ourselves inside of, and we cannot escape because we believe we cannot escape, and that is our situation. Humans create their own boundaries, their own limitations, and we say what is humanly possible and what is not possible. Then just because we believe it, it becomes truth for us. The prophecies of the Toltec have foreseen the beginning of the new world and new humanity where humans take responsibility for their own belief, for their own lives. And the time is coming when you will become your own guru. You don't need other humans to tell you what the will of the God is. And no, it's you and God face to face without any intermediary, and you were searching for God and you found God within you. God is no longer there outside you, and when you know that the power that is love is inside you, you accept your own divinity, and yet you are a humble because you see the same divinity in everyone else, and you see how easy it is to understand God, because everything is a manifestation of God, and the body is going to die, the mind is going to dissolve also, but not you. You are immortal, you exist for billions of years in different manifestations because of you are alive, and life cannot die. You are in the trees, the butterflies, the fish, the air, the moon, the sun. Wherever you go, you are there and waiting for yourself. Your body is a temple, a living temple where God lives. And your mind is a living temple where God lives. God is living within you as love, and the proof that God lives within you is that you are alive. Your life is the proof, and of course in your mind there is garbage and emotional poison. But God is also there. You don't have to do anything to reach God, to reach enlightenment, to awaken. And there is no one who can take you to God. Whoever says they will take you to God is a liar. Because you are already there. There is only one living being, and want it or not, resist it or not, effortlessly you are with God already, and the only thing left is to enjoy your life, to be alive, to heal your emotional body so you can create your life in such a way that you openly share all the love inside you. The whole world can love you, but that love will not make you happy. And what will make you happy is the love coming out of you. And that is the love that will make a difference, not the love everyone has for you. Your love for everyone is your half. The other half can be a tree, it can be a dog, it can be a cloud. You are one half, and the other half is what you perceive. You are the half of the dreamer, and the dream is the other half. You are always free to love. If your choice is to be in a relationship and your partner is playing the same game, what a gift. When your relationship is completely out of hell, you will love yourselves so much that you don't need each other at all, and by your own will, you get together and create beauty, and what the two of you are going to create is a dream of heaven. You have already mastered fear and self-rejection, and now you are returning to self-love. You can be so strong and so powerful that with your self-love you transform your personal dream from fear to love, from suffering to happiness. Then just like the sun, you are giving life and giving love all the time. With no condition, when you love with no condition, you, the human, and you, the God, alone with the spirit of love moving through you, and your life becomes the expression of the beauty of the spirit. And love is nothing but a dream. And if you create your life with love, your dream becomes a masterpiece of art. Prayers. Please take a moment to close your eyes, open your heart, and feel all the love that is coming from your heart. I want to join me in a special prayer to experience a communion with our Creator. Focus your attention on your lungs, as if only your lungs existed. Feel the pleasure when your lungs expand to fulfill the biggest need of the human body, to breathe. Take a deep breath. Feel the air as it fills your lungs. Feel how the air is made of love, and notice the connection between the air and the lungs, a connection of love. Expand your lungs with the air until your body has the need to expel that air. Then exhale. And feel the pleasure again. When we fulfill any need of the human body, it gives us pleasure. The breath gives us pleasure. Just the breath is enough for us to always be happy, to enjoy life, just to be alive is enough, and feel the pleasure of being alive, the pleasure of the feeling of love. Prayer for awareness. Today, Creator of the universe, we ask that you open our heart and open our eyes so we can enjoy all of our creations and life in eternal love with you. Help us to see you in everything we perceive with our eyes, with our ears, with our heart, with all our sense. Let us perceive with the eyes of love so that we find you wherever we go and see you in everything you create. Let us see you in every cell of our body, in every emotion of our mind, in every dream, in every flower, in every person we meet. You cannot hide from us because you are everywhere and we are one with you. Let us be aware of this truth. Let us be aware of our power to create the dream of heaven where everything is possible, and help us to use our imagination to guide the dream of our life, the magic of our creation, so we can live without fear, without anger, without jealousy, without envy. Give us a light to follow, and let today be the day that our search for love and happiness is over. Today let something extraordinary happen that will change our life forever, and let everything we do and say be an expression of the beauty in our heart, always based on love. Help us to be the way you are, to love you the way you love, and to share the way you share, to create a masterpiece of beauty and love, and the same way that all of your creations are masterpieces of beauty and love. Beginning today and gradually over time, help us to increase the power of our love so that we may create a masterpiece of art, our own lives. Today, Creator, we give you all of our gratitude and love because you have given us life. Amen. Prayer for self-love. Today, Creator of the universe, we ask that you help us to accept ourselves just the way we are, without judgment. Help us to accept our mind the way it is, with all our emotion, our hopes and dreams, our personality, our unique way of being. Help us to accept our body just the way it is, with all its beauty and perfection, and let the love we have for ourselves be so strong that we never again reject ourselves or sabotage our happiness, freedom, and love. From now on, let every action, every reaction, every thought, every emotion be based on love. Help us, Creator, to increase our self-love until the entire dream of our life is transformed from fear and drama to love and joy. Let the power of our self-love be strong enough to break all the lies we were programmed to believe, all the lies that tell us we are not good enough or strong enough or intelligent enough, that we cannot make it. Let the power of our self-love be so strong that we no longer need to live our life according to the other people's opinions. Let us trust ourselves completely to make the choices we must make. With our self-love, we are no longer afraid to face any responsibility in our life or face any problems and resolve them as they arise. Whatever we want to accomplish, let it be done with the power of our self-love. Starting today, help us to love ourselves so much that we never set up any circumstances that go against us. We can live our life being ourselves and not pretending to be someone else just to be accepted by other people. We no longer need other people to accept us or tell us how good we are, because we know what we are. With the power of our self-love, let us enjoy what we see every time we look in the mirror, and let there be a big smile on our face that enhances our inner and outer beauty. Help us to feel such an intense self-love that we always enjoy our own presence. Let us love ourselves without judgment, because when we judge, we carry blame and guilt. We have the need for punishment, and we lose the perspective of your love. Strengthen our will to forgive ourselves in this moment. Clean our minds of emotional poison and self-judgment so we can live in complete peace and love. Let our self-love be the power that changes the dream of our life. With this new power in our hearts, the power of self-love, let us transform every relationship we have, beginning with the relationship we have with ourselves. Help us to be free of any conflict with others. Let us be happy to share our time with our loved ones and to forgive them for any injustice we feel in our mind. Help us to love ourselves so much that we forgive anyone who has ever hurt us in our life. Give us the courage to love our family and friends unconditionally and to change our relationships in the most positive and loving way. Help us to create new channels of communications in our relationship so there is no war of control, there is no winner or loser. Together let us work as a team for love, for joy, for harmony. Let our relationship with our family and friends be based on respect and joy, so we no longer have the need to tell them how to think or how to be, and let our romantic relationship be the most wonderful relationship. Let us feel joy every time we share ourselves with our partner. Help us to accept others just the way they are without judgment, because when we reject them, we reject ourselves. When we reject ourselves, we reject you. Today is a new beginning. Help us to start our life, our beginning today with the power of self-love. Help us to enjoy our life, to enjoy our relationships, to explore life, to take a risk, to be alive, and to no longer live in a fear of love. Let us open our heart to the love that is our birthright. Help us to become master of gratitude, generosity, and love, so that we can enjoy all of your creations forever and ever.